Wait, are we gonna
taste this?
Yes.
I'm kind of hungry.
Alright. Hey Busy Bees, it's Zung, and I got Brooke Williamson to stay and continue cooking with us.
Happy to.
Thank you. We're partnering with Almond Breeze Almond Milk to bring you another meal prep idea.
So today we're making kind of a twist on a traditional pesto pasta, but instead of using all that extra cheese and oil that normally is in pesto, which helps make it really yummy, I feel like we can make it just as yummy with eliminating some of the oil, adding some kale for some extra nutrients, and adding the Almond Breeze almond milk. And it'll help add richness, as will the almonds. We're using almonds today instead of pine nuts, which traditionally you would use pine nuts for a pesto.
Right.
But the almonds are gonna go beautifully with the flavor of the almond milk.
It's so versatile. We're using unsweetened here so that it really could be paired with anything.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. We're using it as a vessel for other flavors, really, and to eliminate some of the unwanted fat.
All right, so let's make our pesto.
Let's do it. Okay, so we have all our ingredients laid out. Again, another super simple sort of dump recipe.
Yeah.
We're just dumping into the food processor. We have our baby kale here.
So maybe about a cup?
About a cup of baby kale.
Okay.
And we're just gonna cut back on the amount of basil that we're putting in because of that. If you wanna pick some basil leaves, I have almonds here, whole almonds. Roasted whole almonds.
Smells so good.
We have 4 fresh cloves of garlic to add that sort of garlicky pesto flavor. And then of course we need a little bit of acidity and brightness, so I'm gonna squeeze in half a lemon.
Does that look like about enough to you?
Yeah, that's great. So we want to taste that basil flavor that really reminds you of pesto, so it feels like a pesto.
Sure.
Instead of just like a leafy puree.
Sure.
And then we're gonna start it off. Let's add a little bit of the almond milk to start it off, and then we can add more as we're going.
So I really love that you're using the Almond Breeze almond milk here as a healthier alternative to cheese, because I know pesto tends to have loads and loads of Parmesan cheese, but we're not using any.
No, we're gonna get our creaminess from the almond milk.
Tell me when to stop.
About a quarter of a cup. Okay, and then you're good. And then we'll just pulse it.
Okay.
We'll put the top on, and then and a little bit of salt.
Okay.
Let's add. We can always add more salt later, so let's just start with a little. This will actually help the almonds break up nicely too.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Pro tip, guys.
Pro tip. And then we're gonna start by pulsing it because we don't want it to turn into a super creamy puree. Now you can see it's nicely chopped and broken up. Let's add a little bit of olive oil and a little bit more of that almond milk.
Perfect.
Another couple tablespoons. That's perfect.
Okay.
And then probably twice that of the Almond Breeze.
Okay. So do you normally eyeball things?
I do. I hate writing recipes. It's like one of my least favorite thing to do, and I know it's really important, but it's just something that I personally hate to do. Whoa! Sorry about that. So it's nice and emulsified, and actually one of the great things about Almond Breeze almond milk is that it stays emulsified and it doesn't separate. So it does give you that sort of creamy feeling without it being actual cream or cheese. This will last longer than you actually want to eat it because the basil and the greens will start to turn color.
Okay.
Partially because of the acidity from the lemon juice. And it just won't look pretty, but if you don't care about how it looks and you don't care about how bright green it is, then this would easily last 4 or 5 days.
4 or 5 days, that's actually really perfect for a week's worth of meal prep. Just keep the pesto separate from the pasta that we're gonna show you how to assemble in a little bit, and yeah.
So I'm gonna give it one more pulse, a long pulse, just to make sure that those almonds are nice and chopped up. And we'll give it a taste, just to check for seasoning.
Okay.
It's perfect.
Yay.
So we're just gonna toss this with some hot, fresh pasta, and then toss in a few other things and it's ready to go.
Whoa. You don't even need cheese for this.
No, I mean, honestly, the almonds take the place of that cheese, and the almond milk really helps keep it that creamy consistency that the cheese would be giving you. So this is a great sort of vegan alternative to a normal pesto.
But really, anyone that enjoys almond could have this, not just if they have like a dietary restriction.
Absolutely
right?
not. Yeah, no.
I would eat this.
Absolutely.
You come up with the best recipes.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so Brooke, I've already boiled off our pasta. And I'm actually, since we're going with healthier alternatives, I boiled off their gluten-free pasta.
Okay.
So there's brown rice, quinoa, and amaranth.
I love that. Any chance I can get to add some healthy grains to my diet, I take. So I'm just gonna spoon this pesto over the top. We'll add some toppings and we'll toss it all together. You could do this in a hot pot. If you had people who wanted different toppings, then this is kind of the best way to do it. If you wanted to add some protein.
Ooh, I have a hack for that, guys.
Do you?
I do.
So I feel like this is a perfect bowl of food on its own. I like to add some sun-dried tomatoes to it, some rehydrated sun-dried tomatoes. And a little bit of that tomato oil that they're packed in.
That's gorgeous right there. But I like, for meal prep, rotisserie chicken is pretty much the way to go.
Absolutely.
Just because it's so versatile as well. That's like
really
the name of the game today.
Absolutely. So I'm just gonna toss this all together, and then we can toss in some shredded chicken just for a little bit of extra protein there.
Are you more of a dark meat or white meat?
For a pasta, I love like a pulled dark meat. Yeah, like a thigh. The breast is great, I feel like, for salads. For warmer sort of pasta dishes, I love the chicken thigh.
Yum.
I'll just toss that all together. Oh, yum. I know, perfect.
Cannot wait to eat this.
So we have our healthy grains, we have our kale, right? And there's so much flavor in this pesto, and it's creamy with no cream, with no cheese. I feel good about eating this. So we have the perfect bowl of pasta here. We have our grains, we have our chicken, we have our sun-dried tomatoes for a little pop of acidity. Now we're just gonna garnish it to make it look pretty. A little bit more pesto over the top. It's nice and creamy with no cream. It's got sort of everything you need in a bowl of food. Just garnish with a couple of basil leaves and a little bit more of that toasted almond over the top. So this is like, instead of drenching it in more Parmesan cheese, we're not only gonna add more flavor and more richness with these nuts, but we're gonna add a little bit of texture too, which is always nice.
You know, this is great for meal prep, and we've been talking about that, but if you don't have time for meal prep, this came together in what? 15 minutes?
Maybe less.
Yeah.
So easy.
Dump it in the food processor, make your pesto, cook off your thing, and using store-bought rotisserie chicken.
And this is honestly, this is great warm, but it's really great cold too. And that chicken that's already cooked and so easy to use, this is great for a couple of days worth of food. Perfect.
So if you were to do meal prep, would you dress the pasta first, or would you have it on the side?
You know, I mean, I feel like a big batch of this, if the pasta's already cooled, I would dress it and just have it ready to go. You know, if I can eliminate a couple of steps when I'm really hungry, you know, the better. So,
all right, let's try this.
All right, dig in. This pasta held its shape really beautifully. Some of those,
some of them just break apart.
Some of them break apart. This is really beautiful.
Yeah.
I like to cook them a little bit more al dente, just so that there's not a chance that they'll melt.
I love the crunch of the almonds in there.
Right? A little crunch of almonds. I actually wouldn't mind a little pinch of finishing salt over the top. Just because we are missing that cheese element. We have the crunch, we have the texture, we have the richness, but that saltiness of the cheese really does add something. So a little pinch of salt goes a long way.
I'm going in for another bite. This is our lunch.
Not bad.
No.
That made it. Right? I'm totally happy with that. And it feels super satisfying, like any pesto would, like any normal pesto. I'm not missing the cheese. I'm not missing the dairy. And I feel like I could eat this all day long and be happy with it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. If you guys are interested in learning more about this recipe, we have it written down in the description box below. And be sure to use Almond Breeze almond milk. We use the unsweetened original version today.
That's my favorite.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Brooke, for cooking with me.
Yeah, my pleasure. And you guys be sure to check out our other collaboration recipes and videos. We've done some really fun stuff using Almond Breeze, so don't miss out.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.